Good afternoon to folks joining us across the Garden State. Happy Friday. I'm Christine Newman with AARP New Jersey, and I want to welcome you to another AARP New Jersey Fraud Friday Facebook Live. We love our alliteration here almost as much as we love continuing to have these important discussions on fraud and helping consumers spot and avoid scams happening right here in our home state. Look, summer is right around the corner. We all want to kick back, relax, but scammers never take a vacation. So today we're going to talk about some of the more prominent scams to be on the lookout for, specifically around this time of year. We're joined today by Melanie Hazim, Director of Outreach at the Division of Consumer Affairs. And the mission of the Division of Consumer Affairs is to protect the public from fraud, deceit, misrepresentation, and they do this in several ways through education, advocacy, regulation, as well as enforcement. So every year, Melanie speaks to thousands of people across the state, educating all types of groups on how to protect themselves from scam artists. So welcome, Melanie. And we want this to be an interactive discussion today. So if you have questions about fraud and scams, please go ahead and type those into the comments section, and we're going to do our best to get to those live. And we are looking forward to a great conversation. So thank you for joining us, Melanie. Summer is knocking on the front door. I can feel it. I'm excited to get to the beach. The weather's getting warmer, and people are really getting ready to go out and travel. So according to the National Association of Attorney Generals, travel scams cost consumers $12 billion annually. Can you tell us about a few of the most common travel and vacation scams to look out for and the best way we can protect ourselves while traveling?
Most definitely. Well, first of all, let me start out by saying you guys are all doing the best thing by taking the time today to protect yourselves with a proactive approach, with being here today with AARP and our organization and learning about what we can do, how to protect ourselves, because that pro-action is really what's going to keep us safe. But yes, Christine, like you mentioned, so much money is spent on travel scams. What I'll say about travel scams is what I say about all scams. Just remember, if it's too good to be true, it is, right? So if you're getting an offer for a beautiful Italian villa for you and 10 of your friends and it's peanuts, well, think twice. You know, I really want folks to remember that. Be aware of these telemarketers. They're going to be offering you these low-cost vacations, and they're going to promise you, there's high-pressure sales tactics as well. You know, they may say, oh, you've won this thing for free, and all you have to do is come here our presentation. Well, they are very well trained to try to get you to buy, other items and packages and vacation packages and things of that sort. So be aware. You may want to be strong and attend, but be aware what you're putting yourself, in front of. I am planning a trip myself. Fortunately, I'm so happy we're finally back to traveling and stuff like that. I decided to work with a trusted travel agent, right? A former colleague of mine that's luckily, gone off to retire, and she's doing travel now. So I know her very well, and I'm deciding to work with her instead of just going on a random website or something like that. And one of her best suggestions for me, which is something that I'm going to definitely do going forward, is the idea of travel insurance. We never know what sort of things are going to happen, whether that's weather or whether that's, personal situations that may arise. And so travel insurance, it's better safe than sorry. And it's always, always a wonderful idea. And of course, no matter what sort of purchases you make, the best and safest way to do that is by using a credit card. Okay. We are clients of these credit card companies, and we pay them lovely fees for them to protect us. So if there are any issues, there will be a little more recourse if we use something like a credit card.
Not a debit card, right?
Not a debit card, not cash. If if the opportunity is presented that way, never.
Great. Thanks, Melanie. I mean, as much as we all would love that villa, right? And it sounds tempting. What you said is so true. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. So that's great information we should all be considering when we make our travel plans. I want to remind our viewers, if you have questions for our guest, please type that into the comments section. Not only is it a popular time to travel, but unfortunately, as of 2 days ago, right, June 1st, we're officially into hurricane season now. So what are some scams, Melanie, that we should be mindful of as we head into this season?
Unfortunately, these scam artists that, walk among us, they're opportunists, right? They are built to exploit any situation that comes up. So here comes hurricane season, and now they're ready with all sorts of other scams that they're going to come at us with. So it's home improvement season. Obviously it's nice out. We're getting outside. We're checking out the houses and say, hey, maybe we can use a new roof or something like that. And again, as I said, hurricane season. The most important thing that we like to share with our folks here, our New Jersey residents, is that Consumer Affairs is a place where you can get information on licensed and registered contractors. So before you hire anybody, we want you to think of us. Contact us. We can give you information on, are the folks that you want to work with licensed? Are they registered? Are there any complaints on file for them? Okay. What you want to avoid doing is working with rogue contractors that will pop up out of nowhere. Okay. We still, think about the devastating Hurricane Sandy, right? Devastation of Hurricane Sandy. And when that happened, again, rogue contractors came out of the woodwork. All right. Folks drove up to our area, got a truck, slapped a sticker on the side of it and said, I am A&B Roofing, right? And promised people, again, too good to be true deals, took their money and ran, and were never to be seen again, right? So do your research, get referrals from neighbors, friends, work with someone that you'd have a little bit more knowledge on their work, right? And ask the questions, ask the other consumers, would you hire them again? Did they show up on time? Did they promise, did they deliver what they promised? Things like that. So do your research. A lot of this stuff and keeping ourselves safe when it comes to scam artists, a lot of it entails work on our end, right? And doing, the footwork and the time consuming stuff. But in the end, it'll keep you safer, and hopefully it'll keep you out of those hands of those scammers.
Yeah, really that idea of, what can we do on the front end in terms of prevention and protection. And, it's so sad a state like New Jersey, where we do unfortunately see these natural disasters. And, folks are in very, very vulnerable places at that point. And then you've got con artists that can come in and almost use that emotion, right, to prey on folks. You
guys do an amazing part on your website where you talk about all that, the vulnerability and the psychology behind the scam. I always refer to your guys' website because you have so much information on that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, this idea that really emotion, con artists know how to tap into emotion to make us maybe make decisions that we wouldn't if we weren't operating from that place of emotion. And unfortunately, natural disasters put us in a heightened emotional state. So Melanie, while we're talking a little bit about contractors, I just want to make sure. So for tips that folks have, is there a place that folks can contact Consumer Affairs if they want more information?
Most definitely. There's two, the simplest ways to contact us is number one, through our 800 number. So that's 1-800-242-5846. That is obviously a statewide number. So if you're looking for information on any contractors, give us a call. Before you hire them, we want you to think of us and call us. Again, as I mentioned, what we can tell you is whether they're licensed or registered. That depends on which profession we're talking about, because some get a license, some get a registration. We can let you know if they're doing business by the letter of the law, here in our state, and that's really who you want to work with. We can also tell you if there have been any complaints on file in the last 2 years. We're not in the business of endorsing anybody, but what we can tell you is we can let you know what we've heard from our other constituents here in the state. So that's why it's a two-way street. So not only do we want you to think of us before you hire, if there is an issue, we want you to contact us afterwards and file those complaints with us as well. And the easiest way to file those complaints is at our website. It's njconsumeraffairs.gov. And then there we'll ask you to send us copies of any information that you may have on the situation. That includes anything, any contracts you may have signed, any correspondence you may have had with these contractors, so we can basically build our case, and we'll go from there. If there is fraud has been taken place, then we'll move forward.
Great, and that's NewJerseyConsumerAffairs.gov. Perfect. Well, thank you, Melanie, for those helpful tips. Summer, I feel like it's heating up, and we have so many scams heating up too. We've already covered two main categories, but it's also peak season, right, for moving. And speaking about emotion, right, you know, we know family moves can be it can be time consuming, it can be complex, it can often be emotional. How do criminals use moving as a way to scam people?
It's, you know, all of our topics, it's such a sad thing that, again, these scam artists are out there and they're exploitive. And as you mentioned, talk about stressful, right? I mean, I'm not sure. I think moving is one of, you know, up there with one of the most stressful things that you could possibly do. Basically, these folks are going to take advantage of consumers. You know, they will come to you and they will quote you a price, and they will pull up to your new location and pull up a block before and say, you know, that'll be an additional $600 if you want your stuff, basically holding your stuff for ransom, you know. And at that point, what does one do? Right? They know that you're going to pay them. So again, same idea. Before you're going to hire any of these movers, check with us. They need to be through our regulated business section. So they are licensed through us here at Consumer Affairs also. Very, very important, right? So again, are they licensed? Do we have any complaints on them? You should know as a consumer that you are to receive a written estimate from the moving company, as well as a specific, a brochure. Actually, it's called the Important Notice to Consumers Using Public Movers. So obviously, with the era of COVID that we're fortunately coming out of, now all of these things can be done virtually. So you can get these things, you may receive them on email, but you still are supposed to receive them. So again, doing business with those that are doing business by the letter of the law. They also should either visit you in person and take a look at your items, or again, this is something we can do over, you know, our technologies now, like you and I are talking, or FaceTime or something like that. So again, on the website, so I'll direct everyone there again if there's further questions. We've got all this information. There's a section called Consumer Briefs. And these are basically one-sheet pages with all the best practices. What to know if you're hiring a mover, what to know about hiring a home improvement contractor. So there is so much to know, right? We know that about what we do. So that's why we're fortunate to be in place, and we want to be in place to help you folks. So we don't expect you to know all of it. That's why we're here.
Great. And all those briefs can be found on that NewJerseyConsumerAffairs.gov site.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Melanie. Well, I'm looking at the clock already, and I can't believe how this time has just flown by. Thank you so much for joining us, Melanie. Do you have any closing thoughts or any other resources you'd like to share with our viewers today?
First of all, I want to say how nice it is to see you, because it's been such a long time. So
Me too,
nice
Melanie.
to see you again, Christine. Such a long time, and we love working with you guys. You guys are such a resource for our most vulnerable folks here in the state of New Jersey. I want to again just direct everyone to our wonderful website, NJConsumerAffairs.gov. Lots of information in there. Again, so much. So that's why we're here, right? And I just want to remind everyone, as I mentioned first, please remember the number one thing you can take with you is, if it's too good to be true, it is. All right. So always remember that. Pause before you do any sort of business with anybody across the board, and take advantage of us before someone takes advantage of you, really.
Oh, I love that, Melanie. And I do hope people take advantage of the great resources and information that you and your organization have. You're just such a great partner in this space. We love working with you as well. I've definitely taken away a few tidbits. I feel like every time we talk, I always learn things as well, which I love. So, I'm definitely going to be checking out those one-pagers that you have on the website as well. So for our viewers, if you're concerned that, you've been scammed, maybe hearing this conversation, you're having some questions now, it's triggered something, you can reach a trained volunteer at the AARP Fraud Watch Network helpline. And that's at 877-908-3360. Again, that's 877-908-3360. If you'd like more information and resources on fraud and scams from AARP New Jersey, please visit aarp.org/NJFightsFraud. Again, that's aarp.org/NJFightsFraud. If you're interested in learning more about our free fun events, special offers, and the latest news from AARP, you can also text the words yes to email, and you'll send that to 50757, and you'll receive a one-time text message from us with a link to sign up with our emails and learn about what AARP has to offer. We do like to let you know message and data rates may apply. We hope you learned something new today about how you can stay safe and cool this summer as scams maybe are heating up. So I hope you tune into our Facebook Live next month. And thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Melanie.